This is my first video, and I realized that the first one I made for my first video did not have audio recording. So I wasted 17 minutes for nothing. So I'm going to try and speed this up. I'm Lucas, and I would say I am very, very, very talented in draft and sealed, so limited Lorcana, but not the best at constructed. So I've always found pleasure and success in limited. So I am going to be a new Lorcana content creator that is coming out for draft and sealed, or again, limited. Because not only do I want to help people, because I know that a lot of people enjoy draft and sealed and like getting new cards, but also want to do good at it, yet find difficulty in doing well. And usually need help or an opinion on what to pick up when you draft or when you're opening your packs for sealed. So I won 3 tournaments in a row in 3 separate days. The first one was draft, and I went 2-1. It says it right here. I went 2-1, 2-1, and then 2-0. Second day, I know this is going to be hard to believe, I went 2-1, 2-0, 2-0. I don't think I went 2-1 my first game. I think it was like my second or last. And then the third day, I went 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. And first day was draft, second day was sealed, third day was draft again. And I found most success and enjoyment in draft. I usually really like sealed, but for some reason I did really well in the draft format. Or at least felt comfortable playing the draft decks. So my MVPs were Tramp and Goofy, and I will get to them in a second. But first, we're going to look at something that I want to show. Most of your deck should be characters. Bodies are what's going to be very strong in the limited format. The more bodies you have on board, the more difficult it's going to be for your opponent to deal with them, which is going to lead you to victory. I only had 3 uninkables. One of my sealed and draft decks, I had 0 uninkables. I would usually say have 4 or less uninkables. 5 uninkables is 1/8 of your deck, which is also about oh geez, how did I forget this? It should just be wow. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. I believe it's 5% of your deck, if I'm thinking correctly. I could be completely wrong, and I apologize, because I probably am. Yeah, I'm 100% wrong. I'm almost 100% sure. But it's 8 out of 40, so 8 divided by... Okay, so it's actually 20% of your deck. But yeah, 20% of your deck being uninkables, not the best. But 10% of it being your deck is even better. So I would say that just aim for 4 or lower. Again, sorry for the huge pause. And you should be good. Looking at this, I'm not exactly thrilled that my 4 costs are this high, but it did end up working out because you do need some big bodies near the end to curve out. If you don't know what curve out means, it means that when you're at this high of ink cost, these 1s and 2s are not going to be as strong compared to their 5s or 6s and 7s and 4s if they can curve out correctly. With these big amount of 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s and 7s, like combined, obviously, because 1 7, is not the best. But again, you don't want a million or a lot, because then you'll have your hand filled with 7s. But this is usually what you want to look for. You want to look for steady building up. And then at 3 is when you're going to have the most amount of cards and where you're going to have them. And then you want to curve out steadily so that you have these big characters to answer near the end of the game. But now I will get into the cards. So I had 4 1-costs plus 2 1-cost actions. These are just big bodies, 1-3 and 1-4. I didn't get any like 2-2s or anything like that, but I would very much say Palace Guard was the best 1-drop, being a 1-4. 4 willpower is super difficult to deal with. And if you have Blue Fairy who gives support and she's evasive, Palace Guard can become a 3-4 on turn 3, which will deal with a lot. Antonio's Jaguar was just a fill-in. I didn't have another 2 costs. I would have preferred more. And he was an inkable big body, so I was okay with it. Jim Deere is a bodyguard. Bambi is a 3-2. At 2 costs, you're going to need a couple of these 2-3s and 3-2s. I prefer 3-2s since they can trade with, like, for example, 4-3s or 2-3s, obviously. Or just like 5-3s. I know 5-3s do exist. So 3-2s do not, just because of their low willpower, do not, or should not at least, get downgraded. Support makes 2-3s a lot better, but you can't always rely that you're going to have that 2-3 and support. You can't always rely on that. So I like sticking with 3-2s, especially since support boosts them even higher and makes them a 5-2. Where they would trade with something with 5 willpower that probably has like 4 or 5 attack, in which even the 2-3s would have even lost to, but they probably wouldn't have been able to take out, because with support from this 2 attack, they would have only been 4 attack and wouldn't have been able to get rid of that 5 willpower character. But cards like Bambi, because of that support, now they can. Blue Fairy is evasive and support. Evasive is super difficult to deal with if there's not a lot of removal. And evasive is one of the, I would say it's actually the best card, keyword, or ability in Limited. It is the best, because it's the most difficult to deal with. Nero, he could challenge stuff and then move damage off of him the next turn. So, not the best. I wish it was from any character, but still very strong card. Vanellope, 3-1 evasive. If you have a 2-3 or a 3-3 evasive, Vanellope deals with you easily. But she can also just quest safely. Louis, he's a 2-3 that when you challenge him, the challenging character gets a -1 attack, and he quests for 2. So it's just making it more difficult to get rid of Louis. Poe Dispel, he's a 3-4. Again, I prefer the 4-3s and 3-2s, but I don't believe I got any of those. And so I just had to work with it, but it still worked very well, especially with support. But even then, 3-4, so he can take out like a 4-3 or maybe even a 2-3 and still survive because of his high willpower, is amazing. Don Carnage is an evasive, and if I play an action that isn't a song, just an opposing character gets reckless. So if they have reckless and I have him exerted and he's evasive and they're not, they can't really do anything. The best they can do is sing a song, and there aren't always a lot of songs in draft or sealed. Basically Limited again. Lewis, he enters play exerted, but he gives an opposing character reckless during their next turn, which is going to make it difficult for that opposing character. Because let's say they were the 2-2 Blue Fairy or the Vanellope Von Sweets. Probably not Vanellope is not what you would want to target, but maybe a 2-3 or a 2-2, specifically an evasive. That's weak. They can't quest safely anymore. They're most likely going to get banished, and that's going to hurt the opponent very, very, very heavily. Mr. Snoops, 3-cost inkable, 3-3. During your turn, whenever this character is banished, you may draw a card. You're most likely going to want to swing him into something, and then get you that card. So not only is he going to possibly be removing your 4-3, for example, like Lewis, but he's going to get you a card. Mushu, there was not a lot of rush in Reign of Jafar, so Mushu giving stuff rush was very strong. I did not get the shift, but even alone, he is a very powerful card. General Lee, I did not think I would like a 2-attack turn 3. His high willpower was the only thing that was really interesting me, but his resist was very powerful, because I know there was an action that dealt 1 damage to like 2 characters. He would just eat that up. Like, it wouldn't do anything. So that was very strong. 2 genies, because he's a 3-4 that gains evasive during your turn, meaning he can even take out, let's say your only evasive is Vanellope, and so you're trading 3 attack with 1 willpower, so it's not the best, because you probably could trade with something bigger, but hey, he survives it, and he gains evasive during your turn. It's pretty good. Dewey, he was a 4-cost inkable 4-4, so he was just a decent body. Goofy healed stuff and readied characters he healed, plus he quested for 2. Minnie was a bodyguard, and the more they attacked her, the stronger she got, making it more difficult to get rid of her, and she would basically stay for a bit and just protect her characters. Chip, not the best body, but still strong attack, and he makes an opponent discard a card. Discard is also very strong and limited, along with Bodyguard. By the way, Bodyguard is like the second, maybe third. I like support a lot. Best ability in limited, but discarding is also very strong, since the quicker you can get your opponent into top deck mode, the more likely you're going to win, because they won't have cards in hand that they know when to play them and how to use them and start forming a strategy. If they don't have cards and they're forced to just pick the top card of their deck and play it, they're going to have to hope it's a really good card. And most of the time it's not, and it's not enough. So making them go into top deck mode is very powerful in limited and in constructed as well, but we're talking limited right now. Alice, she quested for 2, she had 4 willpower, and she readied a chosen damage character, and it wasn't impossible to have a damage character that you wanted to ready, because maybe you challenged with them and then readied them, or maybe they had some damage on them originally or initially, and you just quested with them, then you readied them with Alice, and then you made them take out something. Very powerful. Brutus, he was a 4-3 that during your turn when this character is banished, if one of your characters was damaged this turn, gain 2 lore. You could just swing with him and he would get banished, and that still counts, and you're still gaining that 2 lore. Very powerful card, especially with support, specifically from Wasabi, for example, because I could give him 3 attack, and now he's a 7-3, and he could take out your 7-7 and gain 2 lore. So very powerful. Cricky, 4-3, so a very strong and annoying body to deal with. Plus, while you have 2 or more exerted characters in play, this character gets +2 lore. Not impossible to have 2 other exerted characters, so you're probably going to be questing for a 3. Very, very annoying. Iago, while you have another exerted character in play, this character can't be challenged. He's a 3-3, quest for 2, so good lore. Decent body, not the best, but still, 3-3 can deal with, I would say, about a few 3 costs and lower. A few 3 costs and basically 2s and lower. And if you have an evasive that's exerted and you quest with him and they don't have an evasive answer or removal, yeah, I'm probably going to scoop on you because there's nothing I can do. Scooping, if you don't know, means forfeit. So I'd probably forfeit. Magic Dispel, 3/3 quest for 2, evasive. So evasive is already good. Uninkable is a bit annoying, but when you play this character, you may return chosen character card of yours to your hand to draw a card. Oh my gosh. Magicka was super strong. I could return my chip, and not only do I now have an evasive on board that quests for 2, but I just returned my chip, who I could probably play later on to make you discard another card, but I also drew a card because of it. So I got card advantage, I played an evasive, and I returned a card that I can play again to mess up your game. Beautiful. Wasabi, he was a 3/5 that quested for 2 that gave support, and I didn't have any other 5 cards that I liked or that I had another copy of. So I ran Wasabi, and honestly, I wasn't mad with it because giving 3 attack to something is, it's gruesome. Ariana, 5 cost, 5/5 quest for 2, just a decent body, and another 5 cost. Monterey Jack, 5 cost, 4/5 quest for 2, bodyguard. Bodyguard again is very powerful because if there's not a lot of removal, they're going to have to challenge him, and usually that will remove their characters, and they're not going to get far. Tramp was an MVP. Shift 4, so if you got the 3 cost, even better. If you didn't, that's all right. You just play him turn 6. He's a 2/8 that quests for 2, and during an opponent's turn, whenever one of your characters is banished, you may draw a card. Most of the time, your character is going to be banished on an opponent's turn. Getting to draw a card off of that is amazing. And this counts for him too. Even if they work up 2 or 3 characters to take him out, cool. They're going to all get damaged by him, and you're drawing a card off him as well. So, very powerful card. Definitely the MVP of Reign of Jafar. Atataya, she was a 7 cost, 7/7 that quested for 3, so a humongous body that would be difficult to deal with. Plus 3 lore, super strong. And if you couldn't get to her and you're like, this is too expensive, but I want to save it for later, if you need to play your other cards and this is the only thing that you can ink and be somewhat okay with it, cool. Just throw her in the ink and play those characters, because earlier on, you want to play those cheap characters, and holding on to this big body is just gonna wait too long, so it's very good that it was inkable. She's Your Person. I never really used this, but it was still good for healing, and I needed an extra card. Twitter pated, sorry, I almost said padded. Chosen character gains evasive till the start of your next turn. It's not a body, but it gives something evasive, meaning that if you run out of evasive answers, Twitter page is probably your best bet, and it gives something evasive to swing into their evasive. Or you can quest safely, because it's until the start of your next turn. Undermine, chosen opponent chooses and discards a card. Chosen character gets +2 attack this turn. Not only is buffing up one of your characters super strong to take out one of their big characters, but you're also making your opponent discard a card. Whew. Again, making them go into top deck mode very quick is very strong. Pull the lever, draw 2 cards, or each opponent chooses and discards a card. This card was a win-win. I usually drew 2 cards, but if they were on their last card and you had like 2 or 3 cards in hand, I would probably make them discard, and you still have card advantage over them, and they're in top deck mode. Very, 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 very goated uncommon card. I really liked Pull the Lever. Only so much room. Return chosen character with 2 attack or less to their player's hand. Return a character card from your discard to your hand. I usually ended up inking this because I had other 4 cost things, like bodies specifically to play. But I bet if I ever needed to, this would have been strong, because I could return a 2 cost or less, a 2 attack or less that has a when you play this character ability, so I could play it again. And not only that, I am returning a character card from my discard to my hand. Or let's say they played a 1/1 that quest for 3. I just returned it to their hand, so they have to wait another turn to quest with it. And I'm returning a card from my discard to my hand, so it's kind of like card advantage or card draw. Now, heads held high. This is probably the worst card in my deck, mainly because I never used it. But that was mainly because I was in the driver's seat, meaning I was controlling most of the games. But if I ever needed to get out of the passenger seat and back into the driver's seat because they have characters on board and my characters are damaged, I could remove up to 3 damage from any number of my characters, and all opposing characters get -3 attack this turn. And it's an inkable Sing Together 6 song. Very strong, and I bet you if you play this and you remove their board, you're back in control. You're back in the driver's seat. So it would have been powerful if I needed it. But this is essentially it. This is my first video. I hope this helps anybody that needs it. And I am going to be waiting until next set, obviously, to post draft and sealed help videos. I know there's Knives Nerd Corner and Be Our Guest, who I would like to thank for all the information they've given me, and it has helped me in a lot of limited. And now I'm joining in the Lorcana limited content creators. And I would love to hopefully in the future make a video with one of them. That would be amazing. But if you guys need anything, just comment down below and I will make another video over that topic if necessary. And I will see you guys for next set, and we'll see how it goes.